Hello and welcome to the programme once again. I would like to just continue on in the vein that I've been sharing the last couple of broadcasts. I'm just giving a little bit of background of who I am, where I've come from. I hope that it doesn't sound all about me, but the whole idea of sharing this with you is to give you an idea of our experience of, I've been now in 27, almost 28 years of full-time ministry, and I'm just kind of trying to build up a picture of where we've come from, where we're going, so that you know who we are and what we do. And I'll kind of continue where I left off in our last broadcast. I'd shared with how my wife and I had ended up being missionaries into Russia for about 11 years, and then after that we were involved with the full-time pastoral ministry here in our hometown of Gatehouse of Fleet, where we planted a church and then pastored it for the following 12 years. My assistant pastor, who I'd encouraged and had gone into the Assemblies of God ministry training, he now pastors that church himself. My wife and I stepped out of the fellowship here in Gatehouse in order to allow Chris to develop his own ministry, his own team, his own vision for the church. Well, we went to a sister church in Dumfries, where the pastor is actually a personal friend of mine as well. And so for the last 4 years, I've been crisscrossing Scotland and just building up friendships and networks of churches right across the whole denominational spectrum. I don't mean to be disrespectful to any denomination or any church affiliation whatsoever, and I am an ordained minister with the Assemblies of God Pentecostal denomination, but I don't believe that God puts as much emphasis on denomination perhaps as we do. I'm not ashamed of my denomination, very proud to be of the denomination that I'm on and part of, but to be honest with you, I probably right now work with more churches that are not of my denomination than that are. I work with Church of Scotland, Evangelical Churches of Scotland, independent fellowships, the Pentecostal Church of God, the Apostolic Church, which is in the Highlands in Scotland as well as my own Assemblies of God churches. I work with a lot of independent fellowships. Some of the new breed type churches that are building up. I work very closely with an organisation called People with a Mission Ministries, which are based in Perth, with the National Christian Outreach Centre there in Perth. And so our experience and our broad scope is really what we've been building, and what's our vision is to work right across the whole body of Christ. We want to serve God first and serve His church secondly, and encouraging the local bodies to evangelism and to mission. Mission, oftentimes we see mission as being Africa, or like us, Russia, Sri Lanka. I also did missions in some of the European countries, Eastern European countries, as well as in America. But often we miss our home place, and even Jesus said himself he found it quite difficult because people found it hard to kind of trust him and believe him in his hometown. He said a prophet in his hometown is not easily accepted. I've found that certainly to be true in my own situation. But our heart, almost from the day I got saved, was for Scotland. I do remember almost within days of me getting saved, I thought to myself, I'm 22, 23 years of age, I've lived here all those years, and I can't remember anyone telling me the gospel message that lady Barry had told me, not as succinctly and as clearly as that. I'd heard moralising, I'd heard sermons, but I'd never heard the gospel with such clarity. And it was only a few days after I became a Christian I sort of came to my senses. I thought, my goodness, here I am living in a so-called Christian country. Nobody's told me this before. If this is true, and I got a Bible, I started to read it, and as I'm reading it, it's like, if this is true, we definitely, it's urgent, we must get out there and tell people. It's the eternal destiny of men and women and young people. It swithers on whether they choose to receive or to reject Jesus Christ, but how can they choose to receive or reject Him unless they've heard the message of the gospel? And so it became my passion, my very reason for being, was to share this good news of Jesus Christ, to share Jesus with others, and to help people like I had been helped to come into that personal relationship with Jesus. So that's what we do now, as well as doing the crusades and the outreaches. So I've worked right across the denominations, very much up in the Highlands. I've been very busy there over the last wee while. So that's where we are. It's right up to date just now, really. Although there is something. I did a walk in 2013, which I called the Walk of the Ancient Path, and maybe actually in the next broadcast I may well just give you a little bit of detail of what took place during that walk, the Walk of the Ancient Path. So I'm almost finished these introduction to who we are. Forgive me that it's been all about us at this moment in time, but very soon we'll be finished at that, and then we'll get on to getting some more meat and getting into the Word together. So Lord bless you and strengthen you, and keep your eyes on Jesus. God bless you.